What's up, everybody? Welcome to Gamescast, now episode 76, topic 1. I'm Alex. This is our conversational gaming show, a show that airs every other week, Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, where I talk about random gaming topics. For this topic, this episode actually, I want to kind of focus in on a couple PlayStation exclusives that I'm very, very passionate about, and I've talked about a couple times on this channel. I want to start off today with The Last of Us Part 2. I want to talk about if this game will be coming out around Mother's Day of 2019, / even within the first half of the year. Now, we are almost done with the second month in the year. February is almost over at this point, and we're getting ever so close to the rumored Last of Us Part 2 release date. Now, we've had a lot of interesting kind of things said about The Last of Us Part 2, about when the game could actually come out. And to be honest, it's a little weird that we haven't gotten a single thing from The Last of Us Part 2 in terms of Naughty Dog, Sony, whatever, for when this game is actually coming out. I have been saying for years, literally for years, that I believed that The Last of Us Part 2 would release in June of 2019. That's what I've been saying, and I still want to hold true to that. The talk of Mother's Day has been a thing that is around the internet. It's been on YouTube channels. However, when you go and investigate the actual channels that have been saying this, one of them I've seen quite a lot of talking about The Last of Us Part 2, just videos, and it looks like a lot of clickbait. It looks like a lot of just misinformation, and I really don't have respect for people like that, and I really honestly don't trust that person whatsoever. So, Mother's Day has been said out loud, but I don't know if you can really go off it. I'm going off of just my intuition that they would want to do it for this June or this first half of the year. Because here's the thing, when it gets into the second half of the year and into 2020, you're on some dangerous ropes because you're doing almost the same thing to Naughty Dog as you did back in the PS3 days. Last of Us came out, and then within a year, the PS4 came out. So you really don't want to stick it to Naughty Dog again, and really, they're already doing it because I 1000% believe PS5 comes out in the fall of 2020. I had been saying that when the rumors of maybe it could come out in 2019. I've been saying it way before that rumor even started, and I still 1000% believed it after I heard that rumor, and now it really does look like it's 2020, as Tyler and I have been saying for years on this channel. So you're in the focus of The Last of Us Part 2 would come out, and then in a year and a half, the PS5 would come out. So that doesn't really give Naughty Dog enough, and then that honestly does exactly what Uncharted 4 does. It means that now your best studio, and without a doubt, Naughty Dog is Sony's best studio. Without a doubt, Naughty Dog, I believe, is the best studio in the world. Now, there's fantastic studios in the gaming industry, but for the genre, let's say, that it's going for, there's no better studio, I believe, than Naughty Dog at what they do in terms of the action adventure or even, the single-player story aspect. Neil Druckmann is one of the best, and that studio is the best. So what you've done there already, and this is not even if The Last of Us, say, comes out in early 2020. Maybe we've been wrong all along, and it comes out like next February. Well, now you don't get your next game. You don't get The Last of Us Part 3. You don't get a brand new IP from them. You wouldn't get that until probably like 2 years into the PS5's life cycle. So then you're relying on games like Horizon Zero Dawn 2, like the next God of War, next Spider-Man, which those would probably not be done and ready for the beginning as well. So now you're putting a lot of pressure on those other studios, and you're not giving Naughty Dog, you're going to give Naughty Dog as much time as they need, but Naughty Dog would have to then make a game, and it would have to come out a couple years into it. Maybe you got Uncharted 5 in the works from another studio that you want on the PS5. So there's a lot of moving parts, but the basic thing is The Last of Us, I believe, needs to come out within this first half of this year, and they're running out of time because most games, a game that gets shown off at E3 even for the first time, normally comes out within 4 months to a year after it gets shown. There has been games that have just been announced at E3, and Bethesda likes to do this, and those games tend to be disasters. They would like to announce that the game exists at E3, and then it comes out around 4 to 5 months later in October, November. That has been, some studios, what they do. Batman Arkham Knight was supposed to be that as well, but that got delayed, around 8 months, almost a full year. So studios like to do that. Other studios, maybe like a Jump Force, you could look at. Jump Force was announced at E3 and then came out around 9 months after in February. So you normally get to see the game, and then you announce, or even the games that first get shown. You know what I mean? The very first time you see the game, and they can come out within a calendar year, within 12 months. For The Last of Us, we've known about this game for a very long time. We've seen a lot of different trailers for it, and we're starting to progressively get more and more. The game has got to be very, very close. Again, that YouTube channel that I don't trust has said that it's gone gold. That's 1000% not true, but just believe what you want to believe. So we already know about The Last of Us Part 2, okay? We've already gotten a lot of stuff on it. It's time we get a release date because, just announcing a release date, you normally don't announce a release date for a game that comes out in 2 months. And that's honestly what's holding me back from saying that it will come out on Mother's Day, because Mother's Day is in May, okay? We're at the end of February, so that's 3 months away. If they announce a release date tomorrow for 3 months, that is kind of soon. But at this point, is that really what they have to do? It's possible. Could they announce a release date tomorrow, let's say for June? Well, that's 4 months. That's a little bit better. Or do they have their own conference, their own event maybe in May, do whatever they want to do, and in that they say The Last of Us Part 2 will release in like September or October. Or Uncharted 3 has had the history of doing it in November. Uncharted 3 came out November 11th. The Last of Us, the first game, came out in June, I think June 13th. So, we've had different days, and Uncharted 4 actually came out in May. So we've had all of these different games from Naughty Dog come out at different times of the year. I don't think there's a time they feel it's uncomfortable for them to put out The Last of Us, but at the same time, when you announce a release date, the release date can't be for a month away, because you have to think internally too. You need those pre-orders. Companies are still very, very big on pre-orders. Companies keep track of those things. Very, very important for them. So you need to have enough time in between your announcement of the release date and when the game actually comes out to build your game's hype with people and get them to pre-order it and get them to get ready to buy it. So, with them not saying a release date yet, I honestly have a really bad feeling, and it is a bad feeling, to be honest, because I want it in June. I don't want to be wrong, because again, I've been saying this for like 2 years that's going to come out in June. What it's looking like to me is it's going to be fall. It's going to be fall because you're not going to give enough time. If you announce the release date tomorrow, it's in 2 or 3 months. You can't do that. So I have a feeling this is a fall game, which then puts the question on Death Stranding, and that is a perfect tie-in, because Wednesday's topic, we're going to talk about when Death Stranding is going to come out. So guys, let me know in the comments below, when is The Last of Us Part 2 releasing? Is it Mother's Day? Is it June? Is it the fall? Is it 2020? Let me know. Make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel, Podcast Now. Hit that bell icon so you guys are notified when all these Gamescast topics go up. They go up every other week, Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. We'll see you for Wednesday's topic on Death Stranding.